Student of class 7. Today we are going to start MT chapter 2nd. Live in the moment. Living in the moment is all about living like there is no tomorrow. To do this, we must realize the beauty of every moment and in every activities. The purpose of our life is to live it, to taste experiences to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experiences. The concept of living in the moment is considered to be an effective coping strategy for reducing worries for people approaching the end of life and promoting adaptation to the challenges of a life threatening illness. It is regarded by some people to be essential for handling such situations and for individuals to live a meaningful and productive life as they approach death. It can also allow people to take advantages of opportunities when they are not in pain or to obtain strength. People who have a life threatening illness who are living in the moment report that simple pleasure can enrich their limited life. It is a conscious act that requires participation, not just observation, but the reward is a richer and fuller life. This is our life, so live, do what we want to do to the best of our capacity. Now, come to discuss a story related to this chapter. It is a story of a young boy, Peter, who could never live in the moment. When he was in school, he dreamed of being outside, playing. When he was playing outside, he dreamed of his summer vacation. Peter constantly daydreamed, never taking the time to save the special moment that filled his days. One morning, Peter was walking out in a forest near his home. Feeling tired, he decided to rest on a patch of grasses. And eventually, he got his eyes. He going in a deep sleep. Now, after a few minutes of deep sleep, he heard someone calling him by his name. The shrill voice came into his ears. As he slowly opened his eyes, he was startled to see a striking woman standing above him. She was about 100 years old, and her white hair dangled well below her shoulder. She had a magical little ball in his hand with a hole in the center. Out of the hole dangled a long golden thread. She said to Peter that this magical ball is a gift for you. When you pull this thread, the thread of your life, just a bit, an hour will pass in second. If you pull thread harder, whole day will pass in a minute, and if you pull with all the your might, month, even year will pass by in days. Peter was very excited by this new discovery. The elderly woman quickly reached down and gave the ball with the magic thread to the young boy. Next day, Peter was sitting in class feeling restless and bored. Suddenly, he remembered of his new gift. He took out it and pulled a little bit on the golden thread. He quickly found himself playing in the garden. Realizing the power of the magic thread, Peter soon grew tired of being a schoolboy. Now he was grew tired of being a schoolboy. Now he wanted to be a teenager. He thought that the life of a schoolboy is very boring. So, with all the excitement that phase of life would bring, he held the ball and pulled hard on the golden thread. Suddenly, he was a teenager with a very pretty girlfriend named Alice. But Peter still wasn't content. He is still content. He is bored with the life of a teenager. He had never learned to enjoy the moment and to explore the simple wonder of every stage of life. Instead, he dreamed of being an adult. Now he was dreaming to become an adult because he was again bored with the life of a teenager. So he again pulled the thread hard, and many years flew in an instant. Now he found that he was transformed into a middle aged adult. Alice was now his wife, and Peter was surrounded by a house full of kids. But Peter noticed something else. His once jet black hair had started to turn grey, and his once youthful mother, whom he loved so dearly, had grown old and frail. Yet Peter still could not live in this moment. He still not want to live in this moment. He had never learned to live in now. So once again want to he want to pull the magic thread and wait for the change to appear. He is never consistent with what he had get. He always think beyond the life that he was living at a moment. He never enjoyed the life that he had. He always feel restless and bored. So he try change and change. So he pulled the thread and waited for the change to appear. Peter now found that he was a 90-year-old man. His thick dark hair had turned white as snow, and his beautiful young wife Alice had also grown old and had passed away a few years earlier. His wonderful children had grown up and left home to lead lives of their own. Now, for the first time in his entire life, Peter realized that he had not taken the time to embrace the wonder of life, because at this stage he feel alone because his wife had passed away, his children had left him to live their life of their to lead life of their own. He was growing older, so he feeling lonely. Now he realized that he not embarrassed the wonder of life. He had never gone fishing with his kids or taken a moonlight stroll with Alice. He had never painted a garden or read those wonderful books his mother had loved to read. Instead, he had always hurried through his life, never resting to see all that was good along the way. He never feel the enjoyment of life. He never tried to enjoy the life, the moment that he lived. He always in a hurry to pass the time because he never always feeling restless and bored. He not want to enjoy the life, the moment that he lived. Now all have gone and he become growing older. Now he not have that time to enjoy. Peter become very sad at this discovery. He decided to go out of the forest where he used to walk as a boy to clear his head and warm his spirit. As he entered the forest, he noticed that the little sapling of his childhood had grown into mighty oaks. The forest itself had matured into a paradise of nature. He laid down on a small patch of grass and fell into a deep sleep. After only a few minutes has passed, he again heard a voice. Cried the voice. He looked up in astonishment to see that it was none other than the old woman who had given him the ball with the magic golden thread many years earlier. The old man asked, "How have you enjoyed my special gift?" "At first it was fun, but now I hate it," Peter replied bluntly. "My whole life has passed before my eyes without giving me the chance to enjoy it. There would have been sad time as well as great time, but I haven't had the chance to experience either sad times or the great moment of our life. I feel very empty inside. I have missed the gift of life that God has given me. The childhood, the teenager, the adult life. Now I feel very restless and alone." "You are very ungrateful," said the old woman. "Still, I will give you one last wish. I didn't like to go back to being a schoolboy and live my life over again." Peter quickly responded, then he returned to his deep sleep. When the old woman asked that, "I give you a last chance for a wish," the Peter told that he want to go back to his schoolboy life and live and want to live his life over again. After that, Peter returned to his deep sleep. Again, he heard someone calling him and opened his eyes. He wondered that when he opened his eyes, he was absolutely delighted to see his mother standing over his bedside. She looked young, healthy, and radiant. Now Peter realized the strange woman from the forest had indeed granted his wish, and he had returned to his former life. Now Peter realized his mistake, that he never enjoyed the moment of the life. So he hurried up and dashed out of his bed and began to live the way he had hoped. He went on a leave of full life, once rich with many delights, joyful and trim. But it all started when he stopped sacrificing the present for the future and began to live in the moment. Now, The moral of the story is that you must live in the present, launch yourself on every waves, find your eternity in each moment. Fools stand on their island of opportunities and look toward another island. There is no other land, there is no other life but this, said by Henry David. Thank you.